Hello, fellow YouTubers. This is N0AGI. I'm here to talk about a project that's being undertaken at my QTH in the last couple of weeks. As you probably know, I currently have a Comet GP9 dual band antenna sitting up on my rooftop, and it's helping me with the terrestrial APRS, the APRS-IS satellite iGate, and also my fusion repeater setup on the 442.175 coordination. The APRS operations have been phenomenally successful, and I'm very thankful for that to be able to give back to the community. The 442.175 Yaesu fusion repeater setup has also been successful. It has been providing a good amount of WiresX QSO traffic in the last a few months since it's been up. Although the RF traffic hasn't been as great because of where I am located at. My QTH, as you can tell from the map, is fairly flat surface area. The topography is a standard flat farmland surface area, very well suited for line of sight. However, given that we are at a lower elevation, uh, I actually have a very poor line of sight at my QTH, which provides or hinders the RF operations, especially the voice operations, quite a bit. So I have been thinking about two options. One was to provide a higher elevation to the current antenna structure. However, that would enforce a heavier load on my roof structure, which I'd like to avoid if at all possible. The second option was to put up a tower in my QTH, and that has been my long time aspiration. I also would like to say thanks to the Lord for providing the skills, the tools, and the resources to make this project a possibility. And I could never say enough thanks to the Lord for making this possible. I'm hoping with His blessings that this tower will be up and running and on the air successfully so that we can bring back more services back to the community. With that, and without any further ado, let's get started. What I would like to cover in this part one of this video series is to talk a little bit about the site location for the tower, and we'll also talk about the dig and the concrete pour and the setting up of the base structure and so forth. So here is a view of the site of the house, the shack location, and the current antenna. As you can tell, the antenna is currently located on the back side of our property up on the rooftop, which will be changing as the outcome of this project. So here's another view of the three potential locations. Site number one would be a better fit given that I'm looking at moving my current shack from the second floor to the basement. And here's a close-up view of the site location number one and where the basement location is located at. So I think it'll be a shorter travel path from the tower to the basement. So earlier today, we dug up a 5-foot hole for the tower's base to go into. Our location is fairly clayey soil condition, so it was quite a bit of work to dig up this hole. The location is fairly close to the siding of the house, and when the tower is all up and running, it'll be very close to the peak of the house, as you can tell. We might be a few inches off from the peak, but it should still work really well. And as you can also tell, the distance from the siding to the hole, the center of the hole, is approximately 3 feet, which should work really well for the tilt of the tower. So here's the location after the hole is dug up. and that's where the basement is located at. So eventually we'll have a pass through the siding into the basement for the cables to go in. So earlier today we got our 10-foot tower sections today, and we're gonna be about 56 feet when the project is all completed from the site location. So each of these is a 10-foot section, which I will be painting the same color as the siding of the house so that the tower blends really well with the house. We want to make sure the neighbors are happy as part of this project. So I went and got some paint for galvanized steel, and this paint from Rust-Oleum seems to be the closest match to the siding of the house. The finish is matte finish because we don't want this to be shiny. We want it to blend well with the siding of the house. The color was burlap, and I think that is the closest match I was able to find for these sections. Also, we are going to be building this tower as a foldable, tiltable tower for better serviceability, cleaning, maintenance, and whatnot. So when it's all done, this should be fairly self-serviceable antenna tower, which I'm very excited about. So those are the two paint colors. The white one was purchased for the top section of the tower because we want the top section to be blending with the skyline and the clouds. So the white finish was a better fit for that. So here's a finished product of the one of the sections I painted with the matte burlap. The paint is a combination of a primer and a color. So it works really well for galvanized steel. It takes anywhere between 3 to 4 cans to paint these 10-foot sections. I will be repeating this with the other sections of the tower in the next couple of hours. So these towers are used when I acquired them, but they look fairly well maintained and well taken care of tower to me. So I'm really impressed with the acquisition of these tower sections. So today we got a few parts for the project. This wire here is for the grounding and ground planing. So we'll be using that. It's a used cable, as you can tell. Here's a winch we're going to use for the tilt motion behavior of the tower. It's rated for 2,500 pounds with a auto braking system in it. This section of the tower is the first section of the tower that goes on top of the base or the foundation base. This will be painted also. And here's the base that is put into the location, the site location. It's a custom-made base. It's sitting on top of the a concrete cookie to give it a flatter, sturdier surface area to sit on. Here's a hinge portion of the base that will mount and support the hinge behavior or the tilt behavior of the tower. So here's a box that goes on the siding of the house. The antenna cables would walk into this box, will act as a junction box, if you will, before going into the basement. This will also act as a breakout box for us to be able to split the ground wire into the basement. So it's completely weather sealed and looks really nice. So today we'll be painting the first section that goes on top of the foundation base with the same paint as the previous sections. So here we go. And here's the finished product of that first section. And here are the other three sections that will go on top of that first section we just saw. The birds did their debut already. So here we just got up the first two sections upon the base foundation. As you can tell, the color blends really well with the siding. In fact, I walked all the way back to my neighbor's property, and I couldn't even tell the tower standing beside the siding. So I'm really happy with the way the paint color turned out to be. And the next section is to secure the base section with the foundation with a few bolts and nuts, and that's going to happen now. So here we have the top section brought in today. It's painted white right now. It'll get another coat of white eventually. So the side arms here will provide the approximately 6 foot separation between the antennas. So here's a close-up view of that tilt base section. Fix the notch by rotating the top section clockwise. There's still another notch at the second section. So just pull the tower up. As you can tell, all of those sections are on the tower now except for the top section, which will be going up eventually once we install the winch and the pull up structure.